Mr. Agarwal, would you want to come in here? Fact is that IIT Madras came in, they analyzed the results. Then there was a demand that the results be put out in the public domain. The results were put out in the public domain. All coaching centers, parents could do whatever analysis they wanted to do, etc. The Supreme Court, the highest court of the land and institution, one of the very few institutions that are left in this country in whom we still trust, has come out and said, by the looks of it, no widespread leak. Is it time for this matter to now end? Or do you see a review petition being filed in the Supreme Court?
See, we have to respect the decision of the apex court. There is no doubt about it. Now, this matter definitely would end. There would be no review petition as far as I think. But there has to be a new beginning of reforms, new beginning to get back the trust of the students who are looking ahead to be doctors, engineers. There was not one exam. There were other exams. CUET had problem. NET exam had to be cancelled. So let us not play the blame game. Let us accept some facts that the reform for examination is needed. And if we don't strengthen the system each year, there will be people who will be taking advantage of it and slipping in the system. And medical is such a profession that even if few people slip in, then they will play with the lives of the people. So we need to build that trust. We need to have the reforms. We need to get away with the shortcomings. We cannot just, keep that matter is gone and next year again this happens. We need lot of reforms. There is lot to
we all agree with that. We agree with that. But here's
just one point I would like to make. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Of course, there has been a lapse. 155 students should not have had access to the paper. That's absolutely there has been
even the fact that the government and the NTA dealt with it horribly.
Of course, but that being said,
the first reaction of the government and the NTA was what?
Of course. See, at the end of the day, 155
how
students...
you respond to a charge.
True. 155 students got access to the paper. Like Mr. Agarwal said, this should be a beginning. It should be a learning. We shouldn't make these mistakes again in the future. The NTA Director General has been replaced. Mr. Pradhan is also on notice and he has said that he will ensure that the integrity of other exams are not compromised. Several exams have been postponed. You have to learn from it. That being said, I would also like the students, the educators, these coaching institutes to exercise some restraint. To just cast aspersions and say there has been a widespread paper leak and every topper, every student who has done well has cheated. That is also wrong. That also does disservice to the system.
Yeah. Are paper leaks new in this country?
Absolutely
oh my God.
Not. Absolutely
Look
not.
at the states of Uttar Pradesh. Look at the state of Rajasthan.
But Shreya, we have to go on evidence.
Every year you have paper leaks.
It's not enough to say. It's not enough to say.
So paper leaks is a reality in this country. And if a bunch of students come out and say there has been a paper leak in NEET, you need to believe them because in the end, it did turn out to be true.
They were saying that the marks, they say that, look, so many toppers, the marks are so high, they've all cheated. I don't have to believe that. And the Supreme Court's judgment vindicates. From day one, I've been saying on this issue, no re-NEET. Until and unless it's proven that there is a widespread paper leak. The Supreme Court, I think, has put the matter to rest. There might be a review petition filed, but there is no error manifest on the judgment of the Supreme Court. The review will be heard by the same court. So they're not going to rule.
The way I'm looking at it, there is no re-NEET.
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court is saying there has been no widespread leakage of the paper simply because there is not enough evidence available for it.
No, I don't think it's happened, Shreya. I don't think it's happened because the data is just not supported. Look, there has to be introspection, of course. But
we'll leave it there.
Yes,
the NTA,
on all sides.
The NTA chief has been sacked. We know that. So that is something that has already happened. Will the NTA manage to resurrect itself under this new panel that has been formed? We all hope so. Mr. Agarwal, out of time, but if you have 10 seconds का कुछ बोलना है बोल दीजिए.
One big thing that has come out that nobody would pay is 75 lakh amount. So definitely things were not at the right end. If such big monies are involved, then we cannot overlook and we need to go deep inside. And one thing, can a city beat all the states of India? Seeker has result above all states except UP and Maharashtra. So what happens is it was never investigated. It's a deep thing. Because we all were here. So definitely now we should begin for reform. 75 lakhs, 30 lakhs. This is something which we don't want to hear. We need quality doctors, not fake doctors. And I hope government now will begin the process and show that we can do a system and a good system where there will be no paper leak, and the confidence
Okay.
of students now needs to be restored. Under the system, there
Okay.
cannot
But
be
as I look at it,
injustice.
okay.
Failure
Okay.
of the
The
system
Supreme Court has
cannot
ruled.
lead to
The Supreme. Okay. Okay, but the Supreme Court has ruled, but I think for many students across this country, there will always be a question mark over the NEET undergraduate exam results this year. We'll leave it there for the moment. Keshav Agarwal, thank you very much for joining us. Abhishek Sudhir, thank you very much for coming all the way to the studio.